My name is Jacqueline, and I'm super pleased that you made the choice to do something different today, to click on that link and hear a little bit about connection. So this little info video is about creating a deeper connection with our partners, our children, and other people out there in the world. Now, I wanted a deeper connection with my kids. I really wanted that, and I didn't know how to get it. And I really didn't know what was standing in the way of the connection that I desired either. So I made the choice to do something different and did a little work around it. I did a bit of learning, and what I discovered has completely transformed my connections that I have in my life, and now it's transforming the connections that the parents that I work with have in their lives, which is super, super cool. So I'd love to share a little bit about that with you today. So our lives revolve around relationships, and connection is everything. The connection that we feel with other people around us. And our version of connection is totally unique and individual to us. And for me, the quality and the depth of the connection that I create with the others in my life is determined by the quality and the strength of my personal boundaries and the agreements that I have with myself and the other people around me. So what are boundaries? I mean, I didn't even know, right? When I was first a parent, I didn't even know what boundaries were. I just thought it was like a fence around a piece of land, right? Or that it referred to something that someone else can't do, like a rule. And today I see boundaries as like an invisible edge between myself and others, between myself and another person. It's about what's okay and what's not okay for me in connection with this other person. And sometimes boundaries are like these, really hard line edges, when there's danger involved, physical danger or emotional danger. Usually there's only danger involved if we haven't made an agreement in time, or if a child is too young, to understand or ascertain the danger that's involved. And what I was striving for now in my own connections was for those boundaries to soften and become agreements, an agreement between myself and another of what's okay and what's not okay. And as I said in the beginning, of my journey as a parent, I didn't even know what boundaries were. I didn't even know about this kind of invisible edge between me and my partner or me and my child. I just had no awareness around it. I mean, I could see and feel when I was deep in reaction, when I was in the what's not okay side. I was totally aware of that. And when I learned a bit more about boundaries and agreements, I got a bit more savvy, on where that invisible line was. That invisible line that said what's okay and what's not okay for me. And figuring that out within each moment, within each connection, because it shifts. So I soon realized that when I had that edge, that invisible line, when I had it too close to myself, up here, my kids would be all over me, they'd be all up in my face, pushing and testing, you get the idea. I had allowed the situation to be all about them, and because my invisible line was up here, they took up all of the space that was available. And when the invisible line was too close to their side, when I'd pushed it out, I was all over them, demanding and instructing and criticizing, dominating, expecting. I'd made the situation all about me. And I took up all of that space because that invisible line had shifted out here. And it was all about how I thought they should be behaving. So it became really clear that for me, connection is all about this dance of what's okay and what's not okay. And the most easeful and peaceful way that I found to navigate that dance was from a heart-centered place. And that heart-centered place was where I was able to separate the child or the person from the behavior. You know, the child or the person being what's okay, and the behavior being what's not okay. And this heart-centered place enabled me to set boundaries and agreements with the people around me, with my partner, with my children, from a loving place. To be able to love them through, their sometimes less than desirable behavior. To be able to separate the person from the behavior. Because some of the things, that our kids, our partners, our mothers, our parents-in-law, our kids' teacher, all these people around us, some of the things that they do are not going to be okay. We're not going to like them. Some of it's not going to be okay with us. And learning about connection from this heart-centered place enabled me to be able to share when it wasn't okay from a much more loving place. So in terms of my relationships with others, it helped me to be able to love them and me simultaneously. And that is connection. That is a balanced connection, a connection that can grow deeper because it's about both. So the first module in the Pathways for Parenting online program is all about heart. And the second module is all about connection. Because having a heart-based connection in our relationship with our partners, with our children, and the other people in our lives, it's the first step in doing things differently. So I'm excited to share more of this incredible program and how it's transformed my life and how it's now transforming the lives of the parents that I'm working with. So watch this space. There'll be more coming soon.